Hello and welcome to Layla's Writing Lab. My name is Layla. So the topic of this week is going to be the IELTS Writing Task 1, and we're specifically looking at how to analyze a bar chart in this series of videos. We're going to be looking at several aspects, all aspects of the answer for this type of question, but today in this video we're going to be looking at the question itself and the graph and see how much information we can get. We're going to learn how to write the introduction based on the question, and then in the following nights for this week we'll be looking at how to write the overview, which is very important, how to write paragraph body 1 and paragraph body 2. We will not have a conclusion because a conclusion is usually where you would write your own personal opinion about something, and we don't really have an opinion when we're writing about facts, figures or data. So your typical answer for IELTS Task 1 analysing a bar chart will only consist of these 4 paragraphs. This is a sample question for IELTS Task 1. Let's look at the question and then we'll go to the bar chart. The chart shows the participation of 5 to 14-year-olds in selected leisure activities in the UK. The participation of 5 to 14-year-olds. Participation, so how much people participate or get involved in. What is the age of the people? They are 5 to 14-year-olds, so we know that they're children. The youngest is 5 and the eldest in the group is going to be 14, and they are participating in leisure activities. Activities that they would do in their free time, and this is all taken part in the UK. This is the graph that we have with all the information, and we're going to look at it a little bit more closely in just a second. So, looking at the question itself, IELTS will always give you plenty of information about the chart in the question. Read it carefully because it has key information to understand what the chart is about. We use this information to write our introduction. We don't have any extra information outside of the chart or the question. The only information we use in the introduction is the information that IELTS gives us, nothing extra. So, let's take a closer look at the chart itself. So, looking at the chart, we can see that it has 2 axes. We can see that on this axis we've got percent, so it goes from 0 to 100%, and this tells us that this is the rate of participation, so how often children take part in different activities. On this axis we have the names of the different activities. We have skateboarding and rollerblading, bike riding, watching TV or videos, electronic computer games, and art and crafts. And looking at the key here, we can see that boys are represented in green and girls are represented in purple. And so now, remember the question? This is the only bit of information we use to write the introduction, nothing extra. But we need to rewrite the question using our own words, and that is what gets you the marks. We use synonyms to rewrite the question because if you copy the words from the question, you will get a very low band score. Okay, now I'm going to give you a tip. Some students think that they have to replace every word in the question. Try not to replace everything. So things like articles, a and the, preposition, words like and, these things we don't replace those. All you would need to replace are the verbs in a sentence if you can, and the noun, or if you have more than one word, then that would be the noun phrase. So just targeting the verbs and the nouns or noun phrases in a sentence will be enough for you to rewrite the whole question to give you a very good introduction. So, this is the question that we had. The chart shows the participation of 5 to 14-year-olds in selected leisure activities in the UK. Now we're going to write our introduction. Now what I've written in the introduction is a very good band score 9, and I'll tell you why. We've started with the chart because we have the chart. Now again, we're not going to replace everything. A chart is a chart. We're going to keep that. Next word is shows. Now if you remember, I said please target the verbs in a sentence. Shows, I've chosen a synonym, a very academic word, illustrates, and that's a synonym for shows, so that's very nice. Now what I've done in the rest of it is I have used the information from the graph and information from the question to write my introduction. If you remember, looking at the graph again, we saw that we have percentage, and we said this means how often or how regularly children take part in these activities. A very good word to use is frequency, the frequency or how often children use. So we're going to use the words frequency of use, and that's what we mean, how often or what percentage children used these activities. And then let's remember we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 activities. In the introduction we have to give this information, and if it's not very long we have to list the names of activities as well in the introduction. So we've had the chart illustrates the frequency of use, and that means how often, so we're talking about the percentages. The frequency of use of 5, so the number of activities, and then I've got a different word here. Instead of using leisure activities, if you remember, we don't want to copy the words. Instead of using the word leisure, I have used a different word, the synonym recreational activities. Recreational is the adjective, the noun is recreation, and it has the same meaning as leisure. It means anything you do in your free time. So the chart illustrates the frequency of use of 5 recreational activities. And using brackets, I'm now going to list the activities that I saw in the chart. And they were skateboarding or rollerblading, comma, and when I make a list I need to put comma, bike riding, comma, watching TV or videos, comma, electronic computer games, and, so before the very last aspect of the list we put and, art and craft, and bracket closed. So the chart illustrates the frequency of use of 5 recreational activities, and these are what the activities are, of children aged between 5 to 14 in the UK. Now the question hasn't told us that these are children. We have written down to show the examiner we understand that 5 to 14-year-olds are children. Of children aged between, so that means the age starts from 5 and ends at 14. 5 to 14, and we've put down in the UK. That is a very good band score 9 introduction. We've rewritten all the information in the question. We've added plenty of information from the chart itself, from the information that we got in the chart, and that illustrates everything that the examiner would want to see. So far in this video we've looked at the question itself and the graph and all the information that we got. We wrote down our introduction using all the information that IELTS has given us. In the next videos, I'm going to show you how to write our overview, and then paragraph body 1, and finally paragraph body 2 of the writing. I hope you found the video useful. Please do feel free to visit my page on Facebook at Layla's Writing Lab, or you can visit my website, Layla's Writing Lab, where on my blog I post some very useful information. as well. So feel free to visit my website and read any of these posts on my blog. And my website is www.leilaswritinglab.wixsite.com/Leila's Writing Lab. I hope you found the video useful. Thank you for watching.